Can you take us live?
Delegate, we should be good in about 10 seconds.
All righty.
And we are good.
Wonderful. Good morning. Thanks, Miss Greta. We're good. Good morning. Welcome to the Baltimore City House Delegation meeting for February 20th, 2026. On behalf of the 14 members of the City House Delegation, welcome. Greetings to constituents, stakeholders, and friends who are joining us today. I'm Delegate Robin Lewis, Chair of the delegation. Before we begin, I'd like to thank our delegation staff, Heather Bertling, our delegation director, who runs the Zoom and keeps us going. I'd also like to thank our delegation counsel, Matt Bennett, who supports us and all of our work. Lastly, just to clarify norms with regard to sponsor panels and witnesses, members can invite various experts or advocates to testify on their bills. We ask that members notify me and the delegation director, Heather Bertling, of the names and contact info of your witnesses so we can invite them into the Zoom. And we ask that witnesses keep their cameras off until they're called on. All right, let's get started. We have first order of business is to approve the minutes for the February 13th meeting. Are there any questions or concerns or changes to the previous minutes? If not, sorry.
Madam Chair, I apologize. Just that Delegate Klippinger said he's been waiting in the waiting room trying to be let in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. I know Heather will take care of that and our colleague will come in. In the meantime, on the February 13th minutes, if there are no questions, I will entertain a motion to move the minutes.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, the minutes are adopted. Thank you, everyone. Next on our agenda, we'll move to bill hearings. And if we have Delegate Klippinger, Chair of the Alcoholic Beverages Subcommittee in the room.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much. We have a couple of bills from your subcommittee to hear and hopefully vote on this week.
There are 3 bills, and I'm going to run through them relatively quickly, but if we need to have conversation about them, we'll certainly do that. House Bill 348 is Delegate Rosenberg's bill, deals with ensuring that the liquor license at the Pimlico Racecourse does not expire. Normally, if you don't use a liquor license, then it can go away after a period of time. I think it's about 180 days. Clearly, the work at Pimlico is going to take longer than 180 days. So it needs to be allowed to be, needs to live on. And so it's going to be allowed to live on until they can get back in and serve alcohol. There is an amendment to House Bill 348 that just solves a technical issue in the bill. And with that, I would offer the amendment. I'd offer the amendment to the full delegation.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. You say it's a technical amendment? Would you like us to share it on the screen so folks can see it?
Delegate Rosenberg, if you'd like to do that, is that okay with you?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, let's do that.
I've got to find it.
Well, I think the city delegation may have it, I think.
Let me check with my
Delegate
state.
Klippinger, I'm able to put it up if that's easier for you.
That's great. Thank you.
All right, just
Thank
give me
you.
1 second. I'll share the screen.
I want to make it a little easier for you guys.
There we go.
And we could make it a little bit bigger. There we go.
So what it does, as we reviewed it, it would allow for the transfer of the license to effectively the new operators of the track, and that's the technical change that the amendment allows. It would extend the life of the license to 2029, which should give them enough time to effectively renew the license from where it is right now.
Thank you. Any questions on the amendments?
Move the amendments.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Great. Properly moved and seconded. All in favor of the amendment, say aye.
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 Great, thank you. On Delegate Klippinger, Chair Klippinger, would you like to move the bill?
On the bill, appreciate to move the bill, please.
As amended.
Second.
Okay, second.
Second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? Great. House Bill 348 as amended is adopted. Thank you. Chair Klippinger, your next bill on our list here is House Bill 998.
All right, it's the annual 46th District liquor license bill, which does three different things. A business called Culinary Architecture is moving from Pigtown, which was in the 46th District a long time ago and had a liquor license in the 46th. It's moving to the and then it was redistricted out of the 46th into the 40th. It is seeking to move to Upper Fells Point, onto Ann Street. I think I read that right. But in any case, Culinary Architecture looking to move to Upper Fells Point. So they're looking to move their license from point A to point B, but because it crosses a legislative district boundary, they have to come back and get a change. So that's part one of the bill. It revives a BD7 license from the 1600 block of Eastern Avenue and moves it into Harbor East, into the 700 block of Alisana, and it's got the support of the Little Italy Neighborhood Association. And third, it allows for a not-for-profit organization to receive a donation of alcohol or liquor of alcoholic beverages under the liquor license that is there at the convention center. So in other words, the not-for-profit would be able to accept that donation there. They wouldn't have to go through and buy the alcohol and then get a donation for the alcohol effectively. It allows them to receive that alcohol directly. That's the three parts of the 46 districts bill. I'll just be candid. Every year, there's usually something else that gets added on in the 46 district bill because of the number of liquor licenses that occurred. But right now, that's what the bill looks like. And so I don't believe there are amendments, and I would ask to move the bill.
Is there a second?
The second.
Thank you. Any questions? Oh, great. All those in favor of the bill of House Bill 998 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That the ayes have it. House Bill 998 is passed. Thank you. Delegate Klippinger, the last bill from your subcommittee we have is House Bill 1425.
And it's brought to us from the Liquor Board. It makes a couple technical changes. There's a kind of Class A, this is a liquor store license that exists. They are a 6-day license normally. But during Thanksgiving and New Year, they can apply currently by September the 30th, I think is, if I've got it right. If they apply for a special license, they can then be open on Sundays effectively. The liquor license would change that and say that they could apply whenever they wanted to apply, that they didn't have to do it by September the 30th. And the liquor board would still have to decide whether or not they should receive the 7-day permission during the time between the Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve holidays. The second part, it aligns property tax it's the business property tax records that they're required to provide to the liquor board. It aligns the deadlines for providing that information to the liquor board, so it fits the process for them actually paying their property taxes. And that's what House Bill 1425 does. There is an amendment. There was a critical error in the bill, and I'm sure if Ms. Wurzberger is watching, she was a little embarrassed. We all missed it. The amendment says that in the part of the bill that deals with the alignment of the property tax part of it, that they would have had to provide the information, I believe, by March 30th. Ms. Wurzberger in the subcommittee meeting admitted that she forgot that March has 31 days. So the amendment simply changes it from March 30 to 31. So I would move the amendment to make that incredibly critical change. And
Second.
Okay, properly moved and seconded. All in favor of the amendment, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, with that, the amendment passes. Motion to move the bill?
So
please,
moved. Or second.
Great, moved and seconded. Any discussion on the bill as amended? All those in favor say aye.
I,
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Great, the ayes have it. House Bill 1425 is passed. Thank you. Thank you so much, Chair Clippinger. Our delegation director, Heather Bertling, will prepare delegation letters for each of those bills today. She will email them to the bill sponsor, to the committee of jurisdiction where the bills will go, and she'll copy me. So that way we have a smooth thread of, of documentation, because we all know how critical it is to get those those delegation letters in so the bills can get heard. Great. Thank you so much.
thank you. The GLE is going to be having Liquor Day on Monday. If anybody's district, it's a little unusual that it's only the 46th district with a bill. If anybody else's district has an issue that comes up, please let me know and we'll try and work with you, but probably not in advance of Monday. But we'll be able to work it out through the remainder of session. Further, the Alcohol Beverages Subcommittee was, well, and maybe is going to try and meet today. However, we're running into voting sessions in the committees on which we all sit. So we're trying to work that out. And I would ask members of the subcommittee just to listen on the floor for an announcement as to whether we're going to be able to get this meeting in today or not. The reason for the meeting is a letter that was put forward by several members of the city council and by members of the 46th district delegation regarding liquor board inspectors and whether and a decision that appeared to have been made that would say that they only would work until 6 p.m. There's more to the story. There's another side to the story, and that's why we want to hear from the liquor board too. But in order to do that, we need to make sure that we can all be there. So to that end, right now it's scheduled for 2 o'clock today. I'm not sure if that's going to work, but when we figure that out here in the next hour or two, we'll announce it on the floor.
Great. Thank you, Chair Clippinger.
Here.
And to the hardworking members of your subcommittee. All right. We're going to move on to the next bill on our hearing list. And we were going to hear House Bill 1145. That's an administration bill, juvenile records accessed by Baltimore City Mayor's office. And I just want to double check that the administration representatives are here. I realize there's a little bit of overlap between the Baltimore City Senate delegation meetings and ours. And I got a text message. They might, okay.
Yes, Madam Chair. They are finishing up. I think they're on the last question in the Senate, so they should be over in a moment. So I don't know if you have any other orders of business to go through, but they should be over in just a minute or two.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Themelis. Both of the bills on our list are administration bills. So we could buy you a little time by going to new business or announcements. Any other subcommittees planning to meet? How about the chair of public safety, Delegate Embry?
We don't have plans yet, but I will consult with you about when we should meet. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Usually public safety has a long list of bills, a big portfolio, but this year it's been a little quieter. Thank you. And then the other subcommittee is the Subcommittee on Transportation, the chair of which is on paternity leave. That would be Delegate Mark Edelson. So I already know we don't have any new business for Transportation Subcommittee. Any other announcements? Yes, Ms. Themelis.
So Madam Chair, if the other item is the administration bill, if it is HB 594, we do have Director Moxton from the Department of Finance who is on and ready to provide testimony.
House Bill 594. House Bill 594.
Yes, I know you mentioned two administration bills. I know the one was the juvenile records. I wasn't sure what the other was.
So the two administration bills on our agenda are House Bill 1145, the juvenile records bill, and House Bill 681, the ordinance enforcement fines. We do not have any other administration bills on the agenda today. Members would not have been prepared to hear any other bill. They wouldn't have read it. However, yeah, I don't think, if we haven't scheduled it, I'm not sure that we would hear it. Okay. So
Understood.
unless there are
And
any questions, let me ask my members. I don't think that we would do that. The public needs to be notified and members would have needed a chance to review. So, okay. So we're going to stick with the bills on our agenda. And any chance we could move forward, Ms. Themelis?
yes, I believe you heard House Bill 681 last week. So this would just be providing an update on the amendment. Hold on, let me turn on my camera.
Yeah, please go ahead. Turn on your camera.
Yes. So good morning, Madam Chair, members of the delegation. So Nina Themelis, House Bill 681, as presented last week, would have changed the express powers located in Article 2 of the Baltimore City Charter to increase the maximum penalty amount that the city can enforce for any violation that the city has authority over, from $1,000, which was set in 1983, to $5,000, which is the same amount that charter counties had increased theirs to a couple of sessions ago. The Senate delegation had moved, and they voted this morning to increase, rather than providing that increase, to rather give the local jurisdiction, Baltimore City, the authority to set what those penalty amounts would be. And so you all should have amendment language available to you that outlines how that amendment would be drafted. And I believe you should have a reprint as well. And so that is House Bill 681.
Thank you, Ms. Themelis. It would be good to bring up the amendments. And here they come. Ms. Themelis, you want to talk us through?
Right. So amendment number 1.
Sorry. This looks like, oh, this is these are amendments that came over from the Senate. So the cross file of House Bill 681 is Senate Bill 290. Is that that's what my notes say?
Yes, Madam Chair.
All right. So we're looking at the Senate amendments for the House cross file. We're looking to adopt the Senate amendments into the House bill so that the two bills are harmonized. All right, Ms. Themelis, please go ahead, talk us through these amendments. And they look very technical.
Yes. So the first amendment would, let's see, amount of, that is for the title of the bill. So rather than reading Baltimore City Ordinance Enforcement Amount of Fines and Penalties, it would just say Baltimore City Ordinance Fines and Penalties. And then in the purpose clause, rather than indicating that the General Assembly is providing authority to increase the maximum amounts, it would just be removing the General Assembly's maximum amounts that they had outlined. And then on for the second amendment, which is on page 2 of the bill, It would be changing the language from under the express powers granted by Article 2, it would be changing it from provided that no fine or penalty shall exceed $5,000 and no imprisonment shall be for a period of longer than 12 months. It would alter that language to state that provided that no imprisonment shall be for a longer period of 12 months. So it's removing any indication or reference to a dollar amount in that section of the Baltimore City Charter.
Great, thank you. Thank you for talking us through. So those are the amendments to House Bill 681. We'll be adopting these Senate amendments into our House version of the bill. Thanks for pulling up that screen, Heather. Members, are there any discussion on the amendments? This is a bill we heard last week, so great. No questions on the, oh, I see Delegate Young. Please go ahead.
Madam Chair, so just to clarify, so you came in with the bill that increased the limit, and now we are giving you all more authority to create any fee at any limit. Is that correct?
You're a little bit hard to hear, Delegate. You were asking about the amount of the fines. Do you want to explain how the we
I
could?
wanted clarification that we are removing any limit from the bill. So we came in with a bill that asked for a raise from 1,000 to 5,000, and now we are completely removing any limit and thus our authority to set those limits. Is that correct?
So yeah, so the legislation, thank you for the question, Delegate. The way the legislation would be amended would be instead of the General Assembly imposing those maximum limits, that authority would then go to the City Council, where by ordinance they would make changes or increases to penalty amounts.
I do think that significantly changes the bill. I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate, for your question. Any further discussion on the amendments? Okay. If there's no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion on the amendments.
I move the amendments, Madam Chair.
Second? Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of the amendments signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, any opposed?
No.
Okay, thank you. The amendments are adopted. Do I have a motion on the bill? As amended.
I move it as amended.
Is there a second? Okay, I'll second it. All those in favor of the bill?
Second.
Okay, there we go. All those in favor of the bill as amended signify by saying aye.
Chair, can we have some discussion on the bill?
Well, yes, we can. Let's not rush. Thank you, Delegate. Is there any discussion on the bill as amended?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, please go ahead, Delegate.
Colleagues, I just want to put on the record, like, I think this is a significantly different bill. We go from adjusting an authority that we have to absolving our entire authority. I think that's a separate bill. I think that's just a different conversation than the conversation that we were brought in the first place. The hearing that we had pertained to raising the fee. It did not pertain to eliminating our authority. And I just think that that's something that the city administration needs to come with at the forefront, as opposed to an amendment that completely changes it. So for that reason, I'm going to be voting no. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Delegate Boyce.
I just want to clarify that the administration didn't make this change. The Senate decided to give the authority to the council versus coming back and forth. So it's not necessarily the administration. The Senate delegation made this change, correct?
That seems to be the case. The Senate bill was amended by the Baltimore City Senate delegation. Delegate
so-
Young.
Okay, I'm just trying to,
I'm sorry, Delegate Boyce, were you finished?
well, I guess I am now. I'll just, yeah.
Thank you, Delegate Boyce. Delegate Young?
Madam Chair, I appreciate Delegate Boyce's statement. What I would suggest, though, is that we aren't dealing with the Senate bill at this point. We're still dealing with the House bill, which means that the city delegation, the city administration is presenting the amendment to conform it to what the Senate has already done. But this is not the Senate bill. If we were dealing with the Senate bill, having dealt with that change, that's a different conversation than amending the House version of the bill.
Ms. Demolis?
Yes, thank you. And thank you for those points, Delegate. I do just want to note that when we presented the bill last week, we did make reference to the amendment and that the administration is supportive of the amendment and that we would be circulating the amendment in order to provide advance opportunity for consideration for this week. So it was a part of our testimony during last week's bill hearing.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? I appreciate the discussion.
Just had a point of order to ask.
Yes, Delegate Ruff.
Thank you. Just to ask, should we be doing a roll call vote on these bills at this point?
Thanks for the question. I would ask our delegation counsel, Matt Bennett.
I would suggest, Madam Chair, that you take a roll call vote on this one.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bennett. All right, if there's no further discussion on House Bill 681, it has been, the amendments were adopted. The amended bill was properly moved and seconded. We had discussion. So I will ask the body.
Would you like me to call roll,
vote?
Madam Chair?
Yeah.
Okay. Delegate Addison? I believe she's absent. Delegate Amprey?
Yes.
Delegate Boyce?
Yes.
Delegate Clippinger?
Yes.
Delegate Conaway?
Yes.
Delegate Edelson? I believe he's absent. Delegate Embry?
Yes.
Delegate Rosenberg?
Yes.
Delegate Ruff?
Yes.
Delegate Smith?
Yes.
Delegate Stinnett?
Yes.
Delegate Wells?
Yes.
Delegate Young?
No.
And the ayes have it.
Do I get to vote?
Oh, I'm sorry. Delegate Lewis?
Aye.
I did have a note to go back to. I'm sorry. The ayes have it, favorable with amendment.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for your work and your thoughtfulness. So that ends the voting session. All the bills we were scheduled to vote on have been voted on, and we will return to the hearing on House Bill 1145. That's administration bill on juvenile records. And
Madam Chair, very
Yes.
briefly,
yes, sir.
I just wanted to announce something very quickly before we get back to that, because I'm going to have to switch back to, I'm going to have to go back to my office here in a second, so I'm going to have to jump off. The Alcoholic Beverages Subcommittee will be meeting at 3:30 virtually, 3:30, not 2 or 2:30 today.
Virtually.
Virtually. Okay. Sorry
you
for
so
the
much.
interruption. Thank you.
Thank you. Understood. Bye-bye. All right, we'll go to House Bill 1145, juvenile records. We have from the administration, the director of MONSE, the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, Stephanie Mavronis, and from the City Law Department, Jeff Hochstetler. And Ms. Themelis, you're here. Are you testifying on this as well?
Good morning. I will not be providing initial testimony, but I will be available for questions. Director Mavronis will be the lead in presenting the bill.
Great. Thank you so much. Director Mavronis, would you like to go ahead?
Sure. Thank you very much for having me this morning and giving us space to talk about this bill. What we're seeking to do with this bill is most simply restoring a carve-out that had existed in state law for a little over a decade, going back to the times of Mayor's Office of Criminal Justice, which allowed access to and confidential use of a juvenile police record with our office, if and only if our office is providing services to that young person. This language that is included in the House bill that you reference also slightly expands that to not just include MONSE, but to also include the Mayor's Office of Children and Family Success and the Mayor's Office of African American Male Engagement, two other city agencies that provide direct services, be it through intensive case management work or mentorship, cohort work with our young people. We're also some of the agencies that have been coordinating around this in our youth stat meetings. And so just looking to make sure that we can continue to strengthen the partnership and coordination with our police department, our Department of Juvenile Services to best serve our young people. We know we hear from our residents, from our elected officials, our communities all the time that we need to do more to get upstream, to try to intervene early with our young people. That's really at the heart of this amendment to the statute that we're seeking to restore into law. We understand how important it is to make sure that we continue to protect and share our juvenile information responsibly. And so I do just want to say that information that is furnished to any of these agencies, not only is it strictly protected by the language that's in the statute that governs how juvenile records are maintained and how long they can be retained. But this is also about making sure that we have the data to better inform our comprehensive service plans that we're making for those young people that we serve. This is data that would be kept in a protected case management system. Only those staff who are working on our youth opportunity programs would have the means to access it. And as per the terms of the statute, we have no means to share or release this information. It can't be used for any other purpose other than developing that comprehensive treatment plan. And so happy to answer any questions about this. But just want to make sure that we can continue to do the good work to support our young people and work with our interagency partners and ultimately reduce recidivism for our young people as well. Happy to answer any questions and dig in a little bit further, and thank you again for the time.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Mavronis. I know Mr. Hochstetler is here to answer questions should members have any. Great. So we'll go to questions. If I don't see your hand, feel free to unmute yourself and be recognized.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Delegate Ampry.
Yeah, I would just love to hear from the office if there's any other examples of where other jurisdictions do this, whether it's in the state of Maryland or in other jurisdictions across the country. Just want to get a flavor of the nature of how these agreements and systems work.
Thank you. Ms. Mavronis.
So I'm not as versed on what this looks like across the rest of the state, but I can at least share from my perspective what this looked like prior to the carve-out sunsetting on September 30th of 2025. This is what allowed us, for example, in the past when we were piloting some of our youth diversion work, the Baltimore Police Department, they would make a referral of a young person to us who qualified for that work and say, hey, we want you to connect this young person with services. Because this carve-out existed in law, we were able at that time that we enrolled that young person, sat down with them and their family to say they voluntarily want to be a part of this program and understand the terms of it. We were able at that point to get the official BPD police incident report for the incident that led to them being diverted to our office. Right now, without this language in the statute, we have no means to legally get that information from BPD. And so that's just one, small but concrete way that I've seen this used in the past. We're typically working with youth who are pre-adjudicated. So this statute does cover things like court records and other things I haven't seen a lot or as much in my context. But do want to, I hope that answers your question a little bit. And I'm not sure if Jeff or others know of what this looks like beyond the Baltimore City context.
Mr. Hochstetler, do you have any input?
I don't. Off the top of my head, we can take that back.
We can do some research for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for the question, Delegate Ampry. Just to make sure that I understand, Director Mavronis, so the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, the Mayor's Office of Children and Family Success, these service agencies offer wraparound support for youth, and you're saying that having the full picture of the young person's, the issues that brought them to your attention, that having the full picture of their experience, their backgrounds, helps to deliver better wraparound services, more meaningful. But does it lead to better outcomes? Can you talk to us about that? We'll come to you, Delegate Young, just a second. Ms. Mavronis?
Yeah, no, thank you for the question. I mean, yes, I think we've seen this same method when we have good sharing across our partners. You know, we're a non-law enforcement agency, but we work very closely with our partners in law enforcement and sort of act as that bridge in some senses between law enforcement and some of our community-based providers. In this case, I mentioned the example of the police incident reports that we used to be able to get from the police department for these cases. It helps to have the incident report so we know what are the facts of the case that led to the young person being there. What are other things that are maybe happened in that incident that the young person may or may not voluntarily disclose that is relevant to us as we're developing that service plan. But it also goes beyond that young person and their family that we're seeking to provide that stronger support for and see those better outcomes. The police incident report also includes things like the victim in that incident. So I'm thinking about one of our eligible types that would allow someone to be diverted as we work on this in the future. Shoplifting. Let's say we have a shop owner whose information is included in that report. That also gives us the means with our victim services team to do some proactive outreach to that business owner who may be feeling, you know, horrible about the interaction that they had with a young person. Part of our goal in this work that we're building out through the MOU with the police department and DJS is for us to also create a platform and means to also have some restorative conversations. So where we have opportunities to do that healing work post-incident in ways that also help teach that young person something that's important and hopefully leads to that young person not cycling through our system and being involved in higher levels of crimes or violence. We want to make sure that we have the full picture, but that we're still, you know, very importantly, and as you can see from the protections included in this overall statute, that we're being responsible stewards of that information, that it's not being used or seen by anyone who's outside of the scope of delivering these services, but that it's just one critical piece of our information. We've seen it work with GVRS. That's certainly allowed us to develop individualized messaging and intervention strategies that are saving lives. We want to make sure we can take some of those lessons learned and also apply them to this context as well. And continue work that, of course, as I mentioned, has been ongoing, you know, up to last fall, you know, for at least a decade.
Thank you. Delegate Young.
Can you give me clear?
A little fuzzy.
Sorry, y'all.
Much better.
So, Ms. Mavronis, first off, thank you for bringing the bill. So, I'm a very big fan of your work and Monzi's work, as you know. My question, two questions, quick ones. One, I was looking at the bill file. It doesn't look like it was pre-filed before. You know, what happened? Why did we let it lapse? Number one. And number two, how has it had a negative impact on your work not being able to have this access?
Nina, did you want to take the first part of that around the filing?
Ms. Thumulis?
Sorry, I was monitoring the rest of the Senate delegation meeting. Could you please repeat the question? I apologize.
Delegate Young asked, why did we let the provisions lapse? What happened?
Right. So in previous years, there were staff members at DJS who would flag the pending expiration. And I believe there was some staff turnover there. And so we did not get that notification. And given that Monzi, you know, they have familiarity with the exact law, but did not have familiarity with the existence of a sunset. And so we initially, this initially came to light, I believe in May of last year, which obviously would have come after session had ended. And so we wanted to bring it back for reauthorization as soon as possible, but it was a sunset that when established, I believe it was in 2019 for 6 years and 1 month. And so it was just a sunset that Monzi had not been familiar with and that previously DJS had been responsible for requesting reauthorization.
Thank you. Did that answer your question, Delegate Young? Or your first question?
Yes, Madam Chair.
And
Okay,
then for your second question, I think was about the impact that it's had on the office. Right now, we're still in the design phase with the police department and DJS and our community-based providers about kind of what the future of our youth diversion work will look like. We're really looking ahead to being able to activate that. I know DJS is really looking to be able to refer some of those young people to us who we all hear about all the time, who they may not have the means to hold, but who would really benefit from being connected to something. And so we're really looking now at how we build out that pipeline. I think in some ways, with this expiring and us having to find some workarounds, it's led to us, honestly, in some ways, forging an even stronger partnership with DJS for the future of this work. But what it meant in the short term was that, and kind of in part how we also discovered this. We were seeking to stand up this work. We had a whole process built out with the police department around how they would securely provide us with those case-by-case incident reports. And then we learned that because the statute was expiring, we had to find a workaround. So right now our work has been a little bit in a holding pattern, not because of this statute per se. We're still doing a lot of foundation building work, but this will certainly facilitate information sharing. It'll mean we don't have to try to find workarounds or rely solely on our children and families. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Delegate Young answered your questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. Delegate Rosenberg, did you have a question?
No, I did not. I apologize for what I said.
Oh, we couldn't hear. I just heard you grumbling.
Okay. No, that's something else I'm working on. I'm multitasking. Sorry.
No worries. Thank you so much. Are there any other questions? Any further discussion? Okay. In that case, I'll entertain a motion on the bill.
Quick question, Madam Chair. I don't think I heard. Was there any opposition provided? I don't remember seeing any.
Opposition testimony. Ms. Themelis, are you aware of any? Well, I'm not able to access the bill file. So
that's fine. If I'm correct, a lot of this discussion has been in the news, and I just worry about the legislature, the city delegation, understanding the issue, solving, or I don't know how to say, essentially, maybe getting in the middle of somebody else's fight. I'd just be curious about the police department's support or view, or just so we have a little bit more of a, I mean, if Nina or
Thank
Stephanie
you, Delegate Boyce. I just got a notice that no opposition testimony was submitted to the delegation.
Okay.
I'm not aware if any opposition testimony would be submitted to the Committee of Jurisdiction. We can try to find that out.
That's fine. And I'm happy, I can share, just shed a little bit of light on that, delegate, as well. I know, of course, we were in the Senate yesterday, so we saw some of the submissions there. I think overwhelmingly favorable. I know one of our core partners in this work. So just to answer your question first, the Police Department and Department of Juvenile Services both support us.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Out. DJS did submit favorable testimony. In their testimony, it was favorable with amendments. We did share yesterday in the Senate hearing that we would look favorably upon those amendments. It really doesn't change the spirit of the bill. They changed some of the language around the agencies, I think, and we can maybe share this with you. We haven't seen it.
Fine.
The only other thing, it requires an MOU. Things we're already doing, so we don't have an issue with that.
Got it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Delegate Boyce, I just want to make sure that you're heard because there was a little crosstalk.
No, I was saying thank you. She answered the questions I needed to hear. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Boyce. Appreciate the discussion. It shows that we really are attentive to the needs of our young people, and we want to provide quality services to them. We want better outcomes. We don't just want to, spin our wheels. Okay. Any questions on House Bill 1145? Any further discussion? All right. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion on the bill. Delegate Young?
Madam Chair, I would suggest that given that the record just reflected that there's a potential for an amendment, that we might want to wait to see that amendment.
From the Department of Juvenile Services, I believe. So, Ms. Mavronis, you haven't seen the amendment either. Yeah, that seems like
It's the language is in their or proposed language is in their testimony. I guess, Nina, maybe you could speak to the process there.
Yes, so DJS had submitted testimony for the Senate hearing, and I believe they'll be submitting for the House committee hearing as well. I don't believe they actually sent anything over for House delegation. So we can absolutely coordinate with DJS and make sure the entirety of the House delegation receives that language to ensure that when everyone is voting, they're voting upon the bill with the recommended amendment by DJS. The administration supports the amendment, but it isn't our amendment, but we are happy to make sure that DJS provides that to the delegation.
All right. I think in that case, because this is a bill members are taking very seriously and thoughtfully, I think it would make sense to wait until we have the amendment language in our hands so we can review it and give the bill a holistic sort of assessment. Members, I'm sure you wouldn't mind holding this bill until we have all of the amendments in hand, and we can reschedule this for further discussion in an upcoming meeting. If that's okay with members, then that's what we'll do. So thank you very much, Director Mavronis and team, for your testimony. We'll come back to House Bill 1145 in a future meeting. We'll keep our eyes out for the amendment language, but if you get a hold of it, Ms. Themlis, please forward it to the delegation director or myself, and we'll make sure it reaches all of the members. Is that okay with everybody? Any objections? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, thank you. Well, that concludes our bill hearings. We've completed our voting session. We completed our bill hearings. We did have, and then we'll move on if there are no other questions on those matters, to announcements. Chair Clippinger, Chair of the Alcoholic Beverages Subcommittee, did mention earlier that the Alcoholic Beverages Subcommittee will meet today virtually at 3:30 p.m. Are there any other announcements or new business? Okay. Peaceful Friday. All right, folks. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Great. Thank you. We are adjourned. See you on the floor.
Happy Friday.